Okay, so I promised Emily, hi Emily, that when I did my nails again this week, I would do the Enailcouture Polygel system because I told her how easy it was. I'm not so sure she's convinced. And, whoop, that's better. And that I would show her. So, let's get to it. I have the supplies laid out. Let me put on some more lights. Here we go. So, I'm going to go through this very basic to show you the supplies, and I'll put links to all the supplies that I can think of in the show notes. So, I've got my box of bits, and these are pretty much all from Enailcouture, except for one little starter set that I don't use that's on the bottom that I had gotten from Amazon a long time ago. We've got the base gel. I've got shiny top coat. Now this is from Kiara Sky. Cool little flash curer. This is a new acquisition, and I don't think I could live without it. What I don't have out here right now is my full UV lamp, but you will need that. Okay, I've got a little clip, a gel clip, my nail brush, though we probably won't need that because I already prepped my nails. I soaked them. I did the cuticle dissolver. I pushed them back. I trimmed the whole thing because I need to show how to do that. I've got my little wrist pillow, which isn't necessary, but it helps. A little dapping dish. I've got the Happy Gel. Got my tips that will pull out what we need. I've got my Enailcouture little pad. Of course, those sorts of things are extra. And I've got their starter drill, which is super cool. And what's great about it is I've been charging it up. It's cordless, so now I don't need to keep it charged anymore. So all I need to add to this, well, there's a few other things to show you, is my UV light. I also got some acetone if I need it, but I don't think I'll need that. But I will need the isopropyl alcohol, which I'm going to fill up the dapping dish with it. Okay. And then over here in my fancy little jar, I have some lint-free. So, lint-free wipes. So, oh, I didn't show you what was in the boxes. If I can open them with one hand. One sec. I'm going to put it on pause. Okay, I opened them. I've got my collection of files and some tools. Let's just pull out some. Well, this is one I've already started, so let's use that one. And here's a buffer. All right, so we got our supplies laid out. Okay, I've cleared stuff out of the way. The first thing that we're going to do is select our tips. Now in my tip box, I've got some of the clear polygels, some extra bling. I've got my blingity bling, and the Eternal Beige ones. And this is what we're going to be using. They're all in coffin shape. I like coffin shape. What I'm going to do is, ooh, that one's got a hair on it, so we'll, sorry about that. We're going to sacrifice that one. Because I want to show you, Emily, something with these. These may look like press-ons, but those are plastic, awful, looks like you stuck shells, like thick, nasty. Look at the edge of this. Look how thin that edge is. You could see how thin that is right there, goes up against your cuticle. And same thing with the sides, but there's something even cooler with this. Well, first, also the sizes are right there, really tiny. I've already just selected, it comes with a lot more sizes. I've already thrown out all the ones that don't fit me, but here's what's best about them. These are made of gel, so they're flexible. It's not like those hard, nasty things you get from the drugstore, those press-ons. Now, believe me, I like press-ons. I'm not above that. I'm a bit white trash, you know that. But you can do that and it doesn't break. Now, of course, if you keep forcing it, it will eventually crimp, but you can't do that. Look at that with drugstore nails. If you had super thin nails, you could press it, but that's what's so great about these full coverage polygels. Now, Enailcouture is not the only one to do them, but I just love Max. And I think the prices are really, really good. A bag of the nails is super cheap. Now, in the starter kit, you get a set of the nails. You get some drill bits. You get the Russian manicure drill bit set. You get some base gel. I think you get a couple brushes. I'll have to check on that. You get a Flash Cure little clicky lamp. It's not like my Kiara Sky, but it's good. I should pull that out, but it's just like a little flashy lamp. And, excuse me, you get this drill, along with some other goodies. You get like a cute little apron, and also, I don't know, some nail files or whatever. Again, it will all be in the description, but it's well worth it. Okay, first step is you're going to sort the nails to your size. Now, I've already narrowed it down, but I can never remember which one is which. But obviously, the big one is the thumb. And there's 2 of them in there, I think. You want it to go from side to side, but not, you might have to do a little shaping. But there's my thumb. So I'm going to lay these out in order. So I'm putting this on my lap. I'm doing the Eternal Beige because you don't have to put any kind of covering over it. They look beautiful just as is. Whereas if you're doing the clear, obviously you have to do something with them, and I don't got time for that. So now my pointer finger. You gotta check both hands. Sometimes your nails aren't the same size on each hand. Pinky. But I've already done that ahead of time. All right. So you have, I've never seen a little tab left on top like that, but there you go. So you have your nails sorted out. There's several steps you need to do to prime your nails. And there's a few things I forgot to get out in supplies. We'll get them in a minute. Now, Max says you don't have to do this anymore, but I still do it. You're gonna flip them over, you're gonna take your E-file, and you're gonna rough up the inside shiny up to where the top of your nail bed is. He says you just have to prime it. I rough it up and prime it. It can't hurt. So I'm just using a little bit of a rough drill bit. I still don't really know the right one to use. I keep guessing. This is Pink Rocket. We'll see how it does. Now, these are better drill bits than comes in the case. There'll be a similar one, but it won't be the ceramic Pink Rocket. I bought these later as an upgrade. And I just kind of go by, I guess, like I put it on 7-ish. 7, 8, 9 is about what yeah, and that just roughs it up a little. You see? I'm going to do them all and then brush them off. One day, if you're bored, you could go through your whole nail box and rough them all up. But I always think there might be something you want to do with them that you don't want to rough them up for, so that's why I've never done that. Especially the clear ones, because you might want to do some kind of cool, like sandwich or overlay design where you don't want it roughed up. Take them and dust them off. You could also take your lint-free pads, put a little alcohol on it and clean it off, which is what I usually do before I put them on, but I just do a little dusting first. Okay, let's get a little alcohol. I love me some 91% alcohol. Glad I had a bunch of that before the quarantine, because you can hardly find it now. I just clean them up a little bit. And you can also use that alcohol to start desiccating your nail beds, because you do need now your nail beds nice and dried out. And speaking of which, that is the supplies I didn't get out. I didn't get out the primer and the desiccator. So let me go get those. Those are also from Enailcouture. Okay, here's a tip. His clear bottles are awful in reading. I can't read that. So I labeled them on the top. Step 1, desiccator. Step 2, protein bonder. But he says to now, actually he says you don't need to rough them up. He says you just need to do this. But I do both steps, is you go through and now put a layer of protein bonder in that same area on each nail. You now go through with the desiccator and dry out your nails. All right, desiccator's done. We will not need that anymore. We'll put that completely aside. Now you go through with the protein bonder on all of your nails. You can also go through with like an Orly base coat. I don't think you need it, and it's not in his system, so I don't do that, but it certainly can't hurt. I would use that sticky base coat by Orly, I think. Let me see if I can go find it. It's like great for so many things. You should always have this in your supplies. Let me go get it. But this is the good old rubberized base coat, Orly. All right, so always have that on hand. I'm not going to use that, though. I probably should, but I'm not. All right, I'm going to put all this out of the way, move my nails up a little bit. So let's just get the lamp plugged in. What we need now is the base gel. So you're going to put on a layer, not too thick, of the base gel, and you're going to cure it. Now, I always cure my thumb separately because it's so awkward. So I'm going to do the thumb, cure that for 60 seconds, and then we'll cure the rest of the fingers. All right, let's do the rest of the nails with the base coat, and we will cure them. So we put base gel on the other nails, and we're going to do that on both hands, and we're curing it for 60 seconds. And you do get a little heat surge there. Okay, that hand is done. We're going to do the other hand. Okay, we've got the little flash cure there, so let's put the big lamp. We're going to bring our nails around. Let's put the big lamp over here, the flash cure here, and let's bring our nails around. Now we're going to get our brush, and we're going to get this little scoopy, and we're going to get our happy gel. So open the happy gel. Take out a little bit of it onto your little scoop here. It's been cold in Colorado. You don't need much. And you're going to stick it on the inside here where your nail bed will be only, because this is your glue, actually. You're using gel as glue. Get your little brush here, wet it in some alcohol, and you're going to want to pat it down, but keep it away from the cuticle edges, because I always still have some ooze out that I need to clean up, but when you get really good at it, you won't have any ooze out. So you want to kind of keep it mostly to the center, but even. And because it's gel, it's not going to dry on you. You've got plenty of time. It doesn't dry until you cure it, unlike acrylic. And you don't brush it really, you do mostly patting. And resist the urge to overfill. Okay, and then clean that off. You don't want it drying on your brush, so I stuck it in the alcohol and on a lint-free. Now, you take it and you go right into that bottom and rock it down, and you'll feel it spread underneath. And you see I got some that came out. But I did much better. Not as much came out as normal. And you don't have to press it too hard. You'll get a lot coming out. I tend to get a little bit too aggressive in the pressing. So hold it down and clean that off right away if you can. Because you can get contact dermatitis if you let product get. And you could still shift it around because it's not cured yet. And you could always do more of this cleanup, but it's harder after it's cured because you'll cure the gel right onto your cuticles. But I often use the drill to clean more up. But I try to get most of it off at this point. All right? And then what you want to do is flash cure it to hold it. Now, you can hold it like that, but that can get awkward. This is what these are for. You put that on there so you can flash cure it. So you get this little lamp, just stick it in there for 10 seconds. Okay, and that sticks it on there so you can work at your cleanup some more. And I love these, this is cheap little thing, but I found the tail allows me to get sometimes, because it cured on there, and I try to get as much of it off as possible so I don't have to drill it off. But that's okay if I do. And I keep changing my, I have a million of these lint-free pads so I can keep using clean ones. And you clean up. Oh, thought of another supply we need. And you'll see that in a minute. Okay. I think I'm going to cure this a little bit more because I feel it shifting around. And always keep your brushes clean. Okay, now the other supply we needed. Okay, we'll need a tip cutter. And this is the little flashy lamp that comes in the, so you can flash cure with that too. But I find this is much easier because here you have to hold it. But that also works. Okay, and when you know what length you want, you at least, so you can get some of this off so it's not too, let's do it about there. I'll probably file it down a little shorter, but I don't want these super long ones. And I like square or coffin. So, yep, that's good. All right, next step, I'm going to do this all in one nail rather than doing it, you know, all of them, just so I could show you, and then we can just film the rest. I want to wipe this off a little more with some alcohol. Okay, we're going to take the drill and blend this into the cuticles as much as we can. This isn't the greatest application job. I should have pushed it maybe down a little bit more and not, you know, squeezed it so hard. But live and learn. So let's get out some drill bits. Pink Moon. magic. Okay. Plus the bit I have on there, I think will work. So we're just going in there and smoothing it into the cuticle. Blending it in. Thinning it out a little. Even though it was already thin, you want to blend it into your cuticle. Plus, roughing up the surface here is going to help, you know, rough up the whole thing, because you're going to put some more gel on, some more Happy Gel, to build some structure. And it's already got a pretty decent C curve, at least for me. I don't like a really deep one, because my natural nails, when they do grow, don't have one. And this will help adhere. Okay. Dust it off. I, as usual, get my little alcohol wipe. Clean it off. Okay. And next, you will put on your protein. Oh, you can always go underneath too if you got some extra gel, which I did. Forgot about that. So let's get one of these like pointy. If you put too much and it seeped underneath. Be very careful if you're using one of these pointy bits. I've stabbed myself with it more than once. And don't go into the nail, because you'll drill a hole right into it, or your finger. It's a real pain in the ass to get that out of there, so really try not to put too much gel to seep out there. Again, now you're gonna put another layer of protein bond onto the tip. Well, it's full coverage, I call them tips, but you know what I mean, onto the nail, onto the polygel. All right, now we need to put another layer of gel. You have a couple choices, depending on how thick you want it. I don't like them super thick, but they last longer if they're thicker. You can use the base gel, or you can use the Happy Gel, which would be thicker. Takes a little skill shaping the Happy Gel. So I'm just going to do the base gel. I'm waiting for that protein bonder to dry. Okay, let's put in, well actually, sorry, before we do that, we want to, see, I forget, cure this nail on. Should have done that probably before I drilled it. Sorry, learn each time. Okay, I'm taking it off to the side because it's the thumb. You're going to want to cure that for 60 seconds. We'll do another nail, and I'll do it in the right order this time. But as you can see, it's a little forgiving as to the order if you mess up. All right, so we cured it. Now, you're going to take your Happy Gel. Oh, see, I almost forgot again. You're also going to want to cure the bottom. So turn it over and cure the bottom 30 seconds maybe? 10 seconds actually. You're going to do more curing of the bottom. 10, 15, yeah, I always kind of over cure, over nuke it. It's my habit. Okay, so now you take the base gel and you put a layer on top. Don't make it too thick at the cuticles. Keep the thickness on the C curve and then be thin as you go down into your cuticles. You don't want to add thickness there. You want to add it in the center. And because it is gel, it will level. So to get it towards the center of the nail, you can turn your nail upside down and let it level. And while it's leveling, you can, I'm going to turn it to the side a little because I don't want to get you in the eye. You can flash cure it so that it stays in that pulling down towards gravity So it's good to have both the Kiara Sky and this. It's not that I don't ever use this little handheld one. Just I don't use it for the same, I don't use it to do my initial flash cure. Okay, so now we're gonna cure this. 60 seconds on top, flip it over, another 30 seconds. Now, where did I put my glasses? On top of my head, go figure. Okay, now you can do some more filing if you like. I see a little areas that I wanna fix up. You know, do a little more blending into the cuticle. Just so where it looked a little lumpy. Okay. And you can decide if you want another layer of base gel. I usually do. So you do the same thing. This time you don't need to put the protein bond down, but put on another thin layer. It's better to do multiple thin layers. Remember, keep most of it towards the center. And you can turn it over to level. And then we will cure it. I'd do top 60. I'd flip it over maybe 10, 15. You don't need to do a whole 30 again. Just letting it level for a little bit. Maybe flash cure the level. Can't hurt. All right, gonna stick it in the nuke. $60 seconds. And because it's so awkward to turn your thumb over, I'm just gonna do flash cure of the bottom for 10, 15 seconds. Or, you know, whatever, a little bit. Okay, so now, I don't really like this matte. It's too thick. I'm gonna get a different one, I think a silicone. Love Max's stuff, but not a big fan of the matte. Okay, you could just wear it like that. But you obviously need to put a top coat, but you don't need to have any color, which I'm not gonna do. I'm just gonna stick a top coat on it. Though later on in the week, I'm probably gonna do some stamp art on it. But I'm using this gold, because I think it goes shiny. I think it goes so well with the Eternal Beige. And it makes your fingers just look so long if you have a similar skin tone to me, because it just like blends right, the color of this Eternal Beige just blends right in with my fingers. It's kind of like when you wear skin-toned high heel shoes, the way it just lengthens your legs. Which is why at least Caucasian ice skaters wear those flesh-colored skates sometimes. It elongates their legs. All right, and we're going to cure that 60 seconds. Okay, there it is. It's lovely, I think, and I believe it's no wipe, but you know me, I'm a compulsive wiper. I wipe everything with alcohol. All right, I think that is lovely. We're gonna do the rest of the nails, but look, it's nice and strong, not too thick, but of course you can add thickness with Happy Gel. Now I can't tell you how long they last. I think you can fill these too, like if you wanted to keep them on 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever. I change my nails so often that I never try. I don't know how long they last because I get bored before then. See, after I got a little more comfortable, I didn't get any overkill. Look at that. None. That is much better job than I did on the thumb. And I'm not going to do hardly any filing on that. So, I flash cured it. I usually would wait to do all the nails. Let's flash cure it a little more so we don't waste time doing each one individually. That takes a really long time.